My name is Melissa Grant, and the day my family finally broke apart began in my mother's bright, cheerful kitchen, a place that looked warm and harmless while everything underneath it quietly fell apart. The room smelled of lemon cleaner and powdered sugar, sunlight spilling across the counters like nothing bad could exist there. My 15-year-old daughter, Emma, stood beside me, shaking. She clutched a printed bank statement in both hands as if it were something alive and fragile. For 3 years, she had worked relentlessly, babysitting after school, giving up weekends, working through summer heat and winter cold, saving every dollar for her school trip to France. $4,200. Not a gift. Not luck. Just discipline, patience, and sacrifice made visible. And then my mother took it. Emma came to me in tears, her voice barely above a whisper. "Mom, I'll never get to go now." She wasn't angry. She was wounded. The kind of quiet hurt that reshapes a child from the inside out. When I confronted my mother, she didn't hesitate. Her arms folded. Her chin lifted. "She's 15, she said flatly. "She has time. Your sister's wedding only happens once." My sister Lauren didn't even look at Emma. I smiled, controlled, composed, dangerous in its calm. "You're right," I said. Inside me, something burned clean and clear. What they didn't know was this. For 8 months, I had been secretly covering $31,000 of Lauren's luxury destination wedding. The planner, the venue, the dress, every polished detail, because my parents couldn't afford it. I never asked for praise. But generosity without respect isn't love. It's a leash. Under the counter, I unlocked my phone. One tap. The first cancellation went through. Somewhere in the background, the machinery of a lavish wedding began to stall, and no one in that kitchen had any idea the ground was already shifting beneath their feet. After that first cancellation, the kitchen felt smaller, like the walls were quietly leaning inward. My mother poured iced tea with practiced ease, the ice clinking as if nothing had changed. But the air between us had sharpened enough to cut. Emma stood close to me, fingers curled into the fabric of my blouse. Her eyes were glassy, but stubbornly brave. I kissed the top of her head. "We'll talk in the car," I whispered. She nodded, too tired to argue, too hurt to hope. Lauren finally broke the silence, flicking her hand dismissively. "Can we stop being dramatic? It's just money. Melissa has plenty." Plenty. The word struck like a slap. As if my overtime hours didn't exist. As if my exhaustion was invisible. As if I were a bottomless account they could draw from whenever convenient. My smile didn't change. "Excuse me," I said softly. "I need to make a quick call." In the hallway, I opened my email. Subject: Wedding planner. Cancellation confirmed. One pillar of the wedding vanished. Next, I called Emma's school. Firm. I asked whether her trip could be reinstated once the funds were returned. The administrator hesitated. Not a yes, not a no, but not a closed door. When I returned, my mother was laughing about floral arrangements. Lauren was scrolling her phone. Then Lauren's screen buzzed. Her smile faltered. "Why is the venue emailing me?" My mother waved it away. Probably nothing. But Lauren had gone pale. I took Emma's hand. "Let's go home." Outside, heat shimmered across the driveway. Emma squeezed my fingers. "Mom, what did you do?" I didn't answer, because my phone buzzed again. Second cancellation approved. Somewhere across town, a grand ballroom quietly slipped out of reach. That night, our house felt unnaturally silent. The kind of quiet that hums in your bones. Emma curled up on the couch with her laptop, scrolling through photos of Paris, golden streets at dusk, stone bridges, tiny cafes glowing with light. She stared as if trying to memorize a life that might disappear. At the dining table, I spread out receipts and contracts, proof of every dollar I had poured into Lauren's wedding without a single thank you. Then my phone rang. Lauren. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. And again. On the third call, I answered. "What did you do?" she demanded, breath shaking. "I canceled the planner," I said evenly. Silence. "You can't do that. It's my wedding." "You're right," I replied. "Which means it should have been your responsibility." I heard my mother grab the phone. "Melissa, fix this." "No." I looked at Emma, wide-eyed, hope trembling at the edges. "I will fix something," I said quietly. "Just not your wedding." The line went dead. Less than an hour later, my mother was at my door, pounding like a storm. She burst inside, rage blazing. "You're destroying your sister's life," she spat. Emma stood slowly. "Grandma, you took my money." My mother scoffed. "You'll earn it back." I stepped in front of my daughter. "Leave," I said. "Come." "Final." She froze, unused to hearing that from me. "You'll regret this," she hissed as she left. I closed the door. Then I opened my laptop. Caterer. Cancelled. The email landed cold and official. Emma sat beside me now, quiet but steady. Outside, my mother's car sped away. Inside, I understood this was no longer about money. It was about respect. And I wasn't done. Morning arrived looking far too ordinary for the damage already done. Sunlight on the floor, coffee brewing, birds arguing in the maple tree. Emma left for school quietly. Before stepping outside, she hugged me longer than usual. "You're still my hero," she whispered. The moment the door closed, my phone exploded. Relatives accused me of jealousy. Cousins called me unstable. My mother had already rewritten the story. "Melissa is overreacting. Melissa is sabotaging the family." Lauren posted a dramatic black-and-white story. Betrayal hurts most when it's blood. I didn't respond. I acted. I emailed the luxury boutique holding Lauren's custom dress, the one I had paid for in full. Subject: Ownership Reversion Notice. Minutes later: Confirmed. Dress locked. Pending resolution. My mother called, crying, real tears sharpened into a weapon. "You're humiliating us. People are talking." "Good," I said softly. That afternoon, the school called back. If the money was restored within 48 hours, Emma's seat in France could be reinstated. I didn't confront anyone. Instead, I invited my mother to dinner. "Come tonight," I said. "Let's talk like adults." She agreed instantly, convinced I'd folded. By sunset, my house smelled of rosemary chicken. At 7:03 p.m., her heels clicked across my floor like verdicts. I placed a thick folder on the table, every receipt, every contract, every dollar. Her face drained. My phone buzzed. Fourth cancellation confirmed. Music. For the first time in years, my mother looked afraid. Lauren arrived minutes later, breathless, mascara smeared, clutching her phone like oxygen. "You need to fix this," she said before sitting down. "Sit," I replied calmly. She did. I slid a second folder across the table. "You didn't pay for any of this," I said. "I did." My mother whispered, "We didn't know." "You didn't ask," I replied. Emma came downstairs and stood beside me, silent, undeniable. Lauren laughed sharply. "So this is punishment because Mom took some money?" I met her eyes. "I'm not punishing you. I'm stepping back." Then I placed Emma's bank statement on the table. Silence cracked open. Fifth cancellation. Photographer confirmed. Lauren gasped as her wedding unraveled in real time. "You can't do this," she whispered. "I already did." My mother asked, trembling, "What do you want?" I looked at Emma. "I want her $4,200 returned tonight. With an apology." Lauren started to argue. I set my phone on the table. More cancellations pending. They transferred the money before the hour ended. Emma's phone lit up. $4,200 received. She covered her mouth, shaking, then ran into my arms. My mother apologized stiffly. Lauren muttered regret edged with resentment. I accepted it clearly, and then did the thing that froze them both. I did not restore a single wedding vendor. "This was revenge," Lauren snapped. "No," I said. "This is boundaries." Emma fell asleep that night on my shoulder, phone clutched like proof dreams can come back. At dawn, I reinstated her trip. She screamed into a pillow, then laughed until she cried. I ignored every vendor calling to salvage the wedding. Instead, I sent one message to the family chat. The wedding is yours to rebuild without me. I muted the thread. 2 hours later, Lauren stood on my porch, pale, holding her dress bag. "Please," she whispered. "No," I said gently. She sank onto the steps and sobbed. I stayed inside. For the first time, I wasn't rescuing her. Emma left for France 2 weeks later under a sky so bright it felt staged. At the airport, she squeezed my hand, then turned back once more and grinned, lighter, taller somehow. I stood there alone, something solid settling inside me. Later, Lauren rebuilt her wedding, smaller, simpler, honest. I attended as a sister, not a financier. Emma stood beside me in a navy dress she bought herself. When Lauren thanked her during the toast, Emma nodded, calm, grown, unburdened. On the drive home, rain streaked the windshield. Emma leaned against me and said, "You didn't humiliate anyone. You just stopped letting them ignore us." At home, I pinned her Eiffel Tower photo on the fridge. Then I wrote one line to myself. Love without boundaries is not love. Months passed. My mother started therapy. Lauren paid me back slowly, money and behavior. But the real change was Emma. She returned braver, louder, certain of her worth. And so did I. That night, rain tapping softly, we edited her travel videos together, laughing. I wrapped my arm around her. No guilt, no fear. Just clarity, calm, and peace we had earned.